Let's close the eyes and let's find a nice, comfortable sitting posture. Become aware of the spine, spinal posture, tall and vertical. Gently pull the neck up, tailbone down. This should give you a nice feel for the lengthening of the spine. Head, neck, trunk in alignment. At this point, if you need to make any adjustments to your position so you feel very naturally comfortable. Allow the hands to rest very nicely on your knees or thighs or your lap. Let's lift the shoulders up toward the ears, roll them back. Just allow the shoulders to hang loose, very comfortable arms and shoulders relaxed. A few gentle neck movements just to become aware of the neck muscles, loosening any subtle tightness in the neck area, up and down movement, side to side. We'll do some circular movements. Any random movement that you want to try. Gentle loosening up. And bring the head back to the center finally. Chin positioned slightly below the horizontal level. Very relaxed neck. Soften the facial muscles. Relax the jaws. Begin to watch the flow of breath at the tip of the nose, just monitoring the movement of breath. No effort to modify or control the breathing in any way. Feel the flow. And also become aware of the subtle sensation of cooling in the nostrils when you inhale, and the subtle sensation of the warmth when you exhale. Feeling the flow of breath and awareness of how it feels in the nostrils. Let's recite Om 3 times. Take a deep inhalation. softly. Open the eyes now. Namaste and welcome everyone. Welcome to our 21-day level 2 program. So this is a program that I've done in the past a couple of times. I think Anna probably attended this program last year, right, Anna? Did you do that? Maybe Keshini also did that. I'm not sure.
Hi, Subhash. Good morning. Yes, I have attended the level 2 once.
Okay. Wonderful. Is there any way you can, Keshini?
Keshini, yes, I attended last year.
Last year, so both of you attended. Anna, any possibility you'll come here in person or no?
I can try.
We can
I'll
use
think
your help.
about it.
We can use your help now
Okay.
for some of
I'll
the
try to be there then.
some of the poses, because see if you can. Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
So first of all, let's go through a very brief introduction. Introduction in the sense, just everyone tell your name and where you're located, and then we'll move on from there. So to start with Anna.
Okay, so my name is Anna. I live in Cary, here in North Carolina, close to Subhash.
Very good.
What else do I need to say?
Not. We'll do more, better introduction on Saturday, as you always do.
Okay, so Anna from Cary.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to other people. Uday.
Yeah, hi Subhash. This is Uday Dodla from Apex area. I attended your this session last year.
Good. All right, Deepak.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Deepak from Apex area.
Yeah.
I attended Subhash level 1 just a couple of weeks back and continuing with the level 2. Thanks.
Very good, Deepak. Wonderful. Keshini.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Keshini, and I live a little bit north of Charlotte in Kannapolis, North Carolina.
Okay, wonderful, Keshini. Your video didn't show up, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right, that's all right. Manisha.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Manisha. I live in Morrisville, North Carolina.
Manisha, your video is not on.
Okay, I will see what's going on with that.
And you're coming here in person, right?
Yes, I'll be coming in person from next week.
From next week, okay.
Yes.
I see. Okay, wonderful. All right, thank you all. And we have two friends here. You want to come over here, maybe? Yeah.
Hello everyone, Mallikarjun from Apex. I attended Subhash's session last time and coming back.
How come you're not showing here?
They can see me next to you.
But it's not showing on the screen. Why? But why are you not seeing? See, the speaker should. What is it?
Maybe.
Oh, I see. Okay. I have to do this. Yeah. Okay. That's Mallikarjun, sorry. And
hi all, this is Chetna. I'm from Morrisville. I attended level 1 classes of Subhash. So
you can stay back here.
Can get those blocks.
Yeah. All right. So the objective here is to kind of extend what we normally do in level 1 and do a few more asanas, first of all, new asanas we don't generally cover in level 1. But then, the way I look at level 2 is that everyone has their own definition of level 2, right? So just to give a very quick example, if I'm stretching my legs here and I'm trying to bend forward, let's say I go up here, I cannot touch my toes. Touching toes will be your level 2 then, in a sense, right? And so any of these asanas that we do in a normal, regular routine, there's always kind of a level 2 extension of that same asana, because there are some variations, there are some movements that we don't get to, so those become your level 2 basically. So to me, level 2 is just extending your own capability while staying within the limits of your flexibility, not overdoing anything. That's level 2. But then we add a few more asanas. Let me just try to project on the screen, the asana that I have mentioned. So this is I've already shared this document. I don't know if everyone saw this. This kind of the summary or outline of the program that we are doing here. So here I've listed a few of the asanas with an asterisk, which will be considered level 2. So this is the first one here is the half moon pose, then bakasana, crane pose. We do it in level 1 also, but again, we'll try to do it more effectively, I hope. And handstand against the wall, of course. Many of these are against the wall. And then there is the Kurmasana. We've done it in the level 1 also. It's a turtle pose. Okay. Then Mayurasana, peacock. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
So this is the peacock pose. I hope one of you can demonstrate. I cannot. Maybe Anna can. But we'll see. What else is here? Sarvangasana, there are a couple of variations which I consider level 2. We'll see if we can do them. Then headstand, that's the Shirshasana. And there's this firefly pose called the Tittibhasana. Again, we'll need someone to demonstrate it. For some of these poses, I cannot. And the scorpion pose, which is the Vrishchikasana. If we cannot get to them, that's fine. It's okay. We'll just do the best we can. All right. And then, of course, there might be other, poses that we come across, and we'll see how we do that. We in this program, the structure is, I'm sure you know that already. We'll do asana first. In this class, we'll do maybe an hour and a few more minutes of asana practice, then deep relaxation, and then, of course, pranayama on most days. But remember, the whole purpose of yoga is to eventually calm the mind. I always try to mention that calming the mind is our main purpose in yoga. And for that, our guru sage Patanjali has given us these guidelines. He calls it the 8 limbs of yoga. And progressively asana, pranayama, and finally meditation. Everything eventually is done as a preparation for meditation. Whether it's asana, whether it's pranayama, relaxation, whatever we do, the goal eventually is to be able to sit and meditate. That's the only way we can finally bring the mind to some stability, calmness, stillness and all that. All right. So that's the goal here. And hopefully, we'll understand that concept and apply that in our life. Obviously, the guideline is to set up a meditation practice at home. So today, at the end of the class, instead of doing pranayama, I'll spend just a few minutes to to give you a brief kind of an outline of how we can establish a meditation practice. All right. That's what we'll do today at the end of toward the end of the class. All right. And then we'll take it from here, see what we can do. All right. So let's come up and then do our eye exercise. Sit up nice and tall, comfortable. We'll do just very basic vertical movement, horizontal movements. So head in the center, look up, move the eyes all the way down and back up and down movement. Smooth movement, but keep the eyes moving up and down in the vertical plane. Continuous movement at each of the two edges, the top edge and the bottom edge. Try to give a brief pause. And during the pause, little extra effort to stretch the eyes so that you can exercise the muscles of the eyes. Next time you bring the eyes to the center, close the eyes, just relax for a brief moment. Open the eyes again, this time to the far right and look to the far left. So move the eyes side to side in the horizontal plane. Smooth movement at the eye level. Movement is at the eye level. Again, a brief pause at the two corners, left and right. A little stretch to exercise the muscles of the eyes. Next time you bring the eyes to the center, close the eyes, and let's rub the palms briskly now. Cover the eyes softly, relaxing the eye muscles. Gently rub the eyelids and the eyebrows. Little massage around the eyes. Massage your forehead lightly. Sides. Cheeks. Neck and the throat. And just relax down. All right. Okay, let's get ready for our Marjarasana. The very same sequence that we do in level 1, just that we add a little more variations to these movements. So come up on the hands and knees. Hands are under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Spread the fingers wide. As you inhale, lift the head up, tailbone up. Dip the navel down. Exhale, round the spine. Lift the navel up so you can create a little hump in the spine. Chin down to the chest. Tuck the tailbone in. Few more. Smooth movement, slow breathing. Follow the flow with the breath. Finish the next round, finish the exhalation. Sit up on the heels in Vajrasana. So, I should mention that, normally what we'll do is, on Saturday, we'll stay back just for a few extra minutes. It's a small group. It won't take too long, but we'll do more, better introductions, a little more understanding of who we are, where we live and all that, what kind of family we have. So that's the kind of introduction we'll do on Saturday. And also on Sunday, I know it's not too many people around, but if you can, come over for breakfast. That would be beautiful. We always get together for breakfast. So those who are local, we should all get together for breakfast here. Okay. I guess everyone is local except Keshini. All right. So Kapalabhati. So once again, share the screen. Manisha, are you familiar with Kapalabhati? Manisha?
Yes, I'm familiar with Kapalabhati.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. Set the speed. Keep it at 80 breaths per minute. All right, let's go. In the final sequence, everyone is familiar with the three bandhas, three locks. You will forcefully exhale all the air. When you have no more air, apply the bandhas. That means you're holding the breath. And then chin lock is when you lower the chin to the chest. That's the Jalandhar bandha. Navel lock, when you suck the belly in toward the spine. Okay, that's the navel lock. Uddiyana bandha. And you squeeze the perineum area around the anus muscles and then lift those muscles up. That's the Mula bandha or the root lock, all the three. And when you are ready to inhale, release the locks, lift the chin up, inhale from your right nostril. You use your right hand, ring finger, close the left nostril, inhale from the right, and then finally exhale from the left. If you have any questions or doubt, please ask. Do not hesitate. Most of you should be familiar. Manisha, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the bandhas, but I can go over that with you. All right. So that's the practice of Kapalabhati. Let's come up on the knees and do the camel stretch called the Ustrasana, half camel first and then full camel. So come up with the hands on your waist, join the thumbs together at the lower part of the spine behind you, roll the shoulders back. And as you inhale, while you push the thumbs forward, that means the buttocks will be pushed forward and you tilt your head back. Keep the shoulders rolled back. That's inhale. And then as you exhale, straighten the body and release the buttocks all the way down without bending forward as much as you can. So avoid bending forward and do this a few more times. finish the next round. Just relax for a brief moment. Next, we'll try the full camel, which is to again come up. And again, there are two options depending on your comfort level. You can either try to keep the toes pointing back, so the top of the foot is flat. That's one option. Because what we're going to try is to push the buttocks forward. Place the hands on your buttocks first, push them forward, roll the shoulders back, and then release the hands down so you can grab the heels, right? If that doesn't work, if you're not able to get to the heels, you can curl the toes under so that the heels will be lifted up slightly. And that way you can get to the heels, okay? Whichever option works for you. Tilt the head back. Roll the shoulders back. Push the buttocks forward. That's very important. If you drop the buttocks, then we're not getting the stretch that you're looking for. Called the Ushtrasana, camel stretch. And slowly come up. So that's for a moment. Come to a standing position for Surya Namaskar. Why is my camera off there?
It's which is on here. Yeah, it's working.
It's working.
Yeah.
No, it's not showing. What's happening? Not turning. If I
You want to do this one,
yeah,
and then you want to turn.
no, I know. This is all I want.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, but why is it not showing on my screen there? Well, it's showing now, I think. Let me see. Okay, now it is. Sorry. Some problem earlier. Okay. Let's come to a standing position. Surya Namaskar. Sun salutation. A few basic rounds, few basic variations. Feet together. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms in front, up and back. Pull the hands up first and push them back. Look up. Exhale, bending forward. Keep the hands and arms pulled away. Finally, drop the hands. Get the hands close to the toes. Bend the knees, palms alongside the feet on the floor. Left foot back. Slide it back and place the knee down. Buttocks down, chest up. Look up. Right foot back. Downward facing dog. Buttocks lifted up. And try and press the heels down to the floor. Then look at your knees or your feet. Chin down to the chest. The knees down, chest and chin down. Release the abdomen, head up, chest up. Palms off the floor, legs off the floor. Try and lift the knees higher, chest higher at the same time. Palms down, we'll go back to the downward facing dog. Lift the head up, left foot forward, up between the palms. Right knee down, buttocks down, chest up. Right foot forward. Legs are straight. See if you can drop the chest down. Head up. Arms in front against the ears as you inhale, stretch up and stretch back. And as you exhale, straighten the body and release the arms down. Relax now. Next round, feet together. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms out to the side and slowly stretch up. Try and pull the hands up, push them back, press the feet firmly to the ground. That should tighten the thighs and push those thighs forward. Arms back behind the ears, deep stretch. Exhale, bending forward. Again, the hands remain pulled away initially. Finally, drop the hands and then behind the back. So interlock the fingers behind you. Roll the shoulders back. When you inhale, try to pull the hands up and away from you toward the ceiling. When you exhale, a very gentle effort to drop the chest so you can get the chest closer to the thighs. Keep it gentle. Release the hands down. And release. Arms down, right foot back. Warrior one. So bring the right foot flat, right leg very straight. Roll the hips to your left. Hips to your left. And as you inhale, raise the arms up. Pull the hands up and back. Exhale, release the buttocks down. Making sure your left knee is vertically above the ankle. So one more time. Inhale, pull the hands up and backwards. Exhale, release the buttocks down. So Virabhadrasana, warrior one. From here, transition to warrior two. So body is completely parallel to the side wall. Your heels, knees, buttocks, and shoulders completely in one line. Your tendency is to roll the right hip forward. You want to bring it back. This knee should be in line with the heels and the buttocks. Look over the left shoulder. Inhale, pull the hands away from each other. Exhale, lower the buttocks down. One more effort. Inhale, pull the hands away. Exhale, buttocks further down. Deepening the stretch. Let's release the hands, legs straight, triangle pose. So from here, this leg is straight, this leg is straight. Place the hand on your left hand on your thigh. The right arm will go vertical and it will remain vertical throughout. And then slide the hand down. Right arm is vertical. Making sure you're bending to the side only, not bending forward at all. So to do that, the bottom hip should be pushed forward, top hip should be pushed backwards, and roll the shoulder back. And then just go as much as you can. Both the legs are very straight. Let's release. Bend the knee, palms down. Left foot back. Downward facing dog. Push the thighs backwards. Heels down. When you push the thighs back, you get a gentle feeling of the flattening of the armpits. That might give you a feel that your forehead is getting lower. So heels down, forehead down, buttocks lifted up. Now knees to the floor. And then buttocks back. All the way back to the child pose. So bring the buttocks very close to the heels or on the heels. Rest it on the heels. Forehead on the floor. And you deepen the stretch. Walk your hands out in front. Keep the hands where they are now without shifting the hands. Keep the forehead very close to the floor. Slide the body smoothly forward to get into the cobra pose. So the cobra is where the chest is up, but the navel is still on the floor. Shoulders rolled back. Navel down, chest up. Elbows are close to the body. Look up. Bhujangasana. Cobra. Let's go back to the downward facing dog. Head up. Right foot forward, up between the palms. The left foot flat. Come up for the warrior one. So roll the hips to the right this time. Hips and shoulders to your right. As you inhale, raise the arms up. Pull the hands up and backwards. Exhale, lower the buttocks down. One more effort. Inhale, pull the hands up, straight up, and push them back. Exhale, buttocks a little more down. And then slowly turn to the side for the warrior two. So remember, the feet remain the same roughly. If you need to make adjustment, that's fine. But make sure your knee, heels, buttocks, and shoulder are in one line. Look over the right shoulder. As you inhale, pull the hands away from each other. As you exhale, lower the buttocks down. Again, the knee ends up vertically above the ankle. Deep stretch. And then come back. Legs straight now. Triangle pose. This time your left arm is vertical completely. Right hand on your thigh. Make sure your right hip is pushed forward, bottom hip. Upper hip pushed backwards. The upper arm remains fully vertical, and then slide the hand down as much as you can without bending forward. That's our key here. Keep it at a level that's comfortable for you, no forcing. And release the hands now. Bend the knee, palms down. Left foot forward. Legs are straight if comfortable. And you can try and draw the chest down. Head up. Arms out to the side and slowly stretch up and stretch back. Pull the hands up and push them back. Look up. And then as you exhale, straighten the body and release the arms down. Relax for a moment now. Feet together. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms in front again, raise them up. Push the arms back, look up. Exhale, bending forward. Again, keep the hands pulled away initially, then drop the hands. Get the hands close to the toes. We're going to place the palms under the toes now. We're going to hide the entire palm under the toes, palm facing up. And then push the knees backwards, lift the buttocks up toward the ceiling, and lower the chest down closer to the thighs. We're trying to hide the entire palm under the toes. That way you'll get a deep stretch on the backside of the legs. If you need to bend the knees, that's fine, but put the full palm under the toes. Bring the palms out, bend the knees, palms down alongside the feet, left foot back. Keep the legs straight this time. And roll the buttocks down, chest up. Straight leg behind you. Look up. Right foot back. Straight body. This is the plank position where the heels, buttocks, and shoulders are in one line. Shoulders are vertically above the hands, vertically. Palms should be flat and firm. Fingers spread out wide. Nice strong legs, so you push the heels backwards to make the body nice and strong. Okay. The knees down, chest down, chin down. Lower the abdomen down, head up, chest up. Chest the elbows straight this time. Upward facing dog. So point the toes back, press with the top of the feet, lift the knees off the floor. While the knees are lifted up, you're still trying to lower the buttocks down. Getting a nicer spinal stretch by lowering the buttocks downwards, knees are up. Shoulders rolled back. You see the Urdhva Mukha Shwanasana. Urdhva is upward. Mukha is face. Let's go back. Downward facing dog. Press the heels down, lift the buttocks up. Lift the head up. Left foot forward. All the way up. Between the palms. Right leg is straight, push the heel back. And lower the buttocks down, chest up. Look up. Right foot forward. Legs are straight, if comfortable. This time place the hands behind the calf muscles now. And then slide the hands down. You're going to hide the palms under the heels this time. Different stretch. Palms entirely hidden under the heels. If you need to, you can bend the knees, but then lift the buttocks up toward the ceiling. Push the knees away in an effort to stretch the legs very straight. And then you can try and drop the chest down when you exhale. A little deeper experience of this stretch. The back side of the legs. Push the knees away from you to stretch the legs straighter if you can. Keep the knees bent if you feel uncomfortable. Buttocks up toward the ceiling, chest closing the gap with the thighs. And then release the hands, bring them out. Stretch the arms out in front. Slowly as you inhale, stretch up and stretch back. And then as you exhale, straighten the body and release the arms down. That's our Surya Namaskara sequence. You always follow it with the balancing pose. So take a couple of easy breaths here. Your very basic tree pose, Vrikshasana. You can move away from the mat if that's comfortable for you. But let's start by first lifting the foot up and hold the shin. Bring the knee up close to the chest. We'll stretch the leg straight now. Hold the back of the thigh. Lift the leg up high. Straight leg. As high as you can comfortably go. Release the hands. Place them on the waist. Legs still lifted up. Now we'll do the Vrikshasana. So bring the foot On the inside of the thigh, sole of the foot, join the palms together, and see if you can raise the arms up. I'm not very good with the balancing poses, so just do the best you can. Fixing the gaze at a spot in front will help. And then you're going to slowly release the hands and legs and come down. Relax. Couple of easy breaths now. Let's do the other side. Knee up, shin, hold the shin, bring the knee to the chest. You think of it as the standing version of the Pavana Muktasana. Take the leg out straight, hold the back of the thigh, stretch the leg out straight and lift it up high. Straight and high, that's the goal. Release, palms on the waist. Again, try and lift the leg up higher. Go for the Vrikshasana, tree pose now. So bring the foot on the inside of the thigh, sole of the foot, heel all the way up. With the palms, feel comfortable, raise the arms up. And the palms down, and finally arms down, legs down. Relax. Lie down on your abdomen, and you'll do 2 rounds of Dhanurasana, bow pose. I'll have to use the bathroom in the meantime. Just relax for a few breaths first, and then 2 rounds of the bow pose. Done with 2 rounds?
Yeah.
Okay, lie down on your back now, roll over on your back for a moment. Last for a few breaths. Feet together. Bring the arms back overhead. Get a good stretch. Pull the hands back and away. Point the toes away. As you exhale, come up to a sitting position now. Just turn around if you need to. Relax for a moment. We're keeping almost a very basic sequence today, just to kind of get the feel for the whole sequence, get the body warmed up, and then we'll start working on some of the more variations of these poses. Okay. Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. Right leg in front, with the left knee. Place the sole of the foot on the inside of the thigh, and you can slide the heel all the way back. Obviously, the other option, as I have mentioned in the past, you can put the foot on top of the thigh. Only if you are comfortable with the knee resting on something. If the knee is not on the floor, you can try resting it on a block or a cushion or a pillow or something. Otherwise, keep the foot on the inside of the thigh. Okay? As you inhale, raise the arms up. And then as you exhale, bend forward. Now, when you bend forward, the chest should line up right on top of the thigh. Okay? On the thigh. And then when you inhale, to deepen the lengthening of the spine, pull the chin away. When you pull the chin away, you can feel the spine lengthening. And when you exhale, you can drop the chest further down. We'll hold this pose for a few more breaths to keep awareness on the stretch. That means whichever part of the body is feeling the stretch most. And it varies from person to person. It could be your hips, your thighs, back of the thighs, your spine, your abdominal area. Whatever part you feel the stretch, that's where your awareness is. That means we don't want to overdo it. Deepening the stretch with every breath only if the body is comfortable with that. And with the next inhalation, slow and smooth, come back up, raise the arms up, and then release the hands down when you exhale. It's called the Janu Shirshasana. Switch sides. This time put the other foot on the inside of the thigh, heel all the way back against the groin area. Optionally, always, we'll put the foot on top for a little extra knee stretch. Knee should be resting on something. Raise the arms up. As you breathe in, exhale, bend forward. Chest lines up on top of the thigh. So as you inhale, pull the chin away. As you exhale, you can lower the chest down. And again, as you inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, release down. Relax. Both the legs together now for the Paschimottanasana. Feet together, legs are straight. Raise the arms up. Put the hands up, all the way up. And then as you exhale, bend forward. Keep the spine lengthened. And to maintain that lengthening of the spine, pull the chin away when you inhale. Drop the chest closer to the thighs when you exhale. And the next inhalation, raise the arms all the way up. And then release the hands as you exhale. Relax for a moment. called the Paschimottanasana. The counter stretch to the Paschimottanasana is the Purvottanasana. You're going to bring the hands behind the back this time. Keep the palms facing, with the fingers facing the front or the back, it doesn't matter. See what works best for you, okay? And then you're going to follow along with Chetna. I cannot lift myself up, but you'll try to lift the buttocks up all the way, roll the shoulders back, and then they lift the chest up as well. Point the toes away from you. Okay? Point the toes away, lift the buttocks up higher, roll the shoulders back, and lift the chest up higher as well. Tilt the head back. Beautiful pose. See the Purvottanasana. Slowly come down. Relax for a moment. Ready for the inversion pose called the Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. Okay. So this is where you will either use the wall for support or you can do without the wall support. I'm sure everyone is comfortable with it. Manisha, are you comfortable with this shoulder stand? It's because you are the only person who is relatively new to the group. Yes, okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so your effort is to bring the body into a full vertical plane eventually. That means your shoulders, buttocks, and heels, they end up in a one single plane. Sarvangasana. And once you're in the pose, your awareness will be at the base of the throat. That's where the thyroid and the parathyroid glands are located. So it's a great pose, especially for the health of those organs there, thyroid and the glands, thyroid and parathyroid glands. Their function is improved. The name is Sarvangasana. Sarva means all, Anga means the limbs. So all limbs of the body are getting a very positive impact here with this pose. That's the reason it's called Sarvanga. Better blood circulation, better movement of the fluids in the body. A lot of different things are happening here. Even the heart gets a little stronger because it has to pump blood against gravity. A little more. It always has to pump blood against gravity a little bit, but this time it's a little more than that. If you're comfortable, you can start some variations. You can spread the feet apart, almost as far out as you can go into a V shape. While you're in the V shape, you may attempt to lower the legs down behind you, bring the feet close to the floor or on the floors, still with the legs wide apart. And then slowly bring the legs together again, bring the back up vertical. We do a few bicycle kind of movements now. Keep it gentle. Making sure your neck and shoulders, they remain perfectly comfortable when you do these extra movements, extra variations. Finally, bring the legs back up to a full vertical position. Now we'll do the half plow variation where you keep one leg vertical, bring the other leg back behind you, all the way back. And you can alternate a couple of times so you can get both the legs stretched in different ways. One leg remains vertical, the other leg comes down behind you. And finally, we'll do the full variation of the, full experience of the plow pose, the halasana. Bring both the legs back behind you. The halasana, plow. Stay there just for a breath or two. When you're ready to come out of the pose, first bring the back down to the floor. And then finally, when the back is, tailbone is touching the floor, legs are vertical. And then release the legs down slowly. Finally, rest for a moment. And get ready for the Matsyasana, the counter stretch called the fish pose. You sit up on the elbows first. Place the palms under the buttocks. And then roll the shoulders back, which will lift the chest up. Tilt the head back. And then release the head to the floor. The crown of the head resting very lightly on the floor. It should not be hanging in the air. It should not be pressing too hard against the floor. Shoulders are rolled back, so the chest lifted up. And in the final position, you may want to lift the feet off the floor, just 3-4 inches. And to come out of the pose, bring the feet down and sit back up on the elbows one more time. And lower the chin down to the chest. And then release the back down, shoulders down, head down. Finally, relax for a moment here. On your back. Let's bring the feet together, bend the knees, wrap the arms around the knees, hug the knees to the chest. Keep the head down, tailbone down. We're going to roll the body side to side. Next time you're back to the center, just pause briefly and begin to rock the body up and down. And finally, come back up to a sitting position now. That's for a moment. Work on the pose called the Bakasana, or the, you think of this crane pose, and the other name is Kakasana, or the crow pose. Sit up on your toes first. Place the hands, palms flat on the floor, spread out wide. Remember, the effort is to bring the upper arm just above the elbow on the inside of the knees. That way, you'll be able to press the knees against the arms and the arms against the knees. So they're pressing against each other. Make adjustments to the position. Feel that you're stable with this position, and then shift the body weight in front. And as you keep doing that, there may be a tendency for the feet to lift off the floor. That's the whole idea eventually. Just lift the feet up and bring the feet higher. Lift the heels up closer to the buttocks if you can, eventually. We'll be working on these poses fairly regularly, just to develop that strength and the ability to get into these poses. Very nice pose. All right. That's okay. Work on them. Sure. Relax, legs out in front for the spinal twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Okay. So again, just to go over some of the optional variations within this pose, let me just quickly remind you, most of you are familiar with it. First, very common variation is bring the right foot on top of on the outside of the knee, foot flat, knee vertical. That's a very basic variation. You bring the right hand back, bring the hand behind the spine. You can wrap the arm around. That's one option. Okay. The second option here, if you're a little more comfortable, you can use the elbow to press against the knee from outside and grab the other knee. That's the second option. If this doesn't work, then you keep the arm wrapped around, that you get a deeper experience. If you can, grab this knee from the outside. Okay, that's one option. Now the second one is to hold this knee also. You've done this before. But then the same movements, you can either wrap the arm around or push with the elbow from outside and grab the other knee. Okay, that's the second option. The third is to wrap the arm around the thigh. That's if you're more flexible. And then bring the arm out from under the thigh. Grab the hands behind your back now. Because from the back, it will look like this. So you're wrapping the arm around. Bring the arm from under the thigh. Grab the hands behind you. Okay? Now, if you're not able to get to this and you want to try this, use a strap. That will be very helpful. You can use a strap to get closer and closer, and eventually you'll be able to get there very soon. Okay? So in a sense, this becomes a level 2 variation of the same pose. You get the idea, right? So let's try it. Whichever variation you want to be, you feel comfortable in. Roll the shoulder back. Inhale to lengthen the spine, pull the neck up, head up. So lengthen the spine. And when you exhale, you can roll the shoulder back, press the thigh gently against the belly. The right hip should be firmly pressing against the floor, not lifted up. This is the Ardha Matsyendrasana. Half spinal twist, as they call it. Let's twist a little more finally, and release now. Come back. Switch sides. Same options. Feel free to try the one that gives you the optimum experience of this twisting stretch. That's the whole idea. Your body will tell you which pose, which variation gives you the best option. The maximum experience of the twisting stretch. Yeah, make adjustments. Yeah, sure. That's good. Keep trying these poses, but making sure you don't overdo anything. That's always the case. Spine tall and vertical, shoulder roll back. Twist a little more. Come back to the center. Relax for a moment. Sit in any comfortable posture with the eyes closed. We always do a brief moment of reflection. That way, we'll reflect back on our experience of this session so far today, and go back and try to replay this whole sequence that we did as a video replay in your mind. The effort is to understand the dialogue that went on between the mind and the body. And we want to maintain that dialogue at a very harmonious level. That means the mind and body should not play a role where the mind feels that it is dominant and it can push the body around, or the body feels that it is, I don't want to follow what the mind says at all. So both those things we want to avoid. Keep them in perfect sync. That's the only way we can enjoy these movements, have a lot of fun doing these poses, and at the same time derive the maximum benefits. Okay, swing the hands behind the back, softly hold the right wrist, and as you exhale, bend forward. This is the yoga mudra. As far as you can, finally stay in the pose for wherever you reach for a moment, so you can keep breathing. And with the next inhalation, slow and smooth, come back up. Nice and easy move. Release the hands and legs, and we are ready for some deep relaxation. So this is the yoga nidra. So lie down on your back first, and then we will go through our sequence to tighten the body. When we tighten the body, we develop a deeper sense of awareness, and that's the whole idea here. Deep awareness. So come up. If you are comfortable, come up into the half boat. If not, keep the head down, feet down. This is to do our tensing sequence. So keep the legs very straight, point the toes away, arms very straight out in front. Spread the fingers wide and tight. Let's make a fist with the hands, tight fists. Let's rotate the wrists around. In one direction first. Pressing at the wrist joint. Pause. Other direction. Pause. Keep the elbows straight, fists are tight. Open the mouth now, extend the tongue out and curl it down toward the chin. Eyes open, mouth open. Tense up all the facial and the neck muscles now. Try and pull the hands away from you toward the feet. Squeeze the buttocks tight, thighs, knees, kneecaps, calf muscles tight, ankles tight. Point the toes away, and we'll try to engage every single muscle in the body into a real tight squeeze, the whole body, top to bottom, toes to head, everything, squeeze. Tighter, and let go. Loosen up now, completely. You can experiment with the position of the body. You can spread the feet apart, almost the width of the mat. Hands away from the body, palms facing up. And just do a mental scan of the body from toes to head, one muscle, one limb at a time. And if you perceive any kind of tension or tightness in the body, bringing that nice and deep mind-body connection. So the mind can perceive some tightness and then send in a wave of relaxation. So as you go through a scan of the body, you can start feeling every muscle, every limb loosening up, feeling that subtle sense of heaviness on the ground. You start feeling the heaviness of the feet. It's a subtle sensation. Heaviness of the feet, legs, knees, thighs. Feel that heaviness of the buttocks, lower back, middle back, upper back. Feel the subtle heaviness of the hands, arms, shoulders. Head and the neck. The whole body, feel that subtle heaviness on the floor. The body feels heavy. It feels nicely supported by the ground. Deep state of relaxation. And we'll try to enjoy this deep state of relaxation. To do that, we'll set the intention that when we're relaxing, when thoughts come up in the mind, which they will, but we have set the intention to relax, so we'll not pay any attention to the thoughts. Thoughts will come, linger around for a moment, looking for attention, but then go away. We want to continue to enjoy this very beautiful states of the body and mind. Let's bring the awareness back to the breathing and slowly begin to breathe slightly deeper breaths. Just becoming more aware of your rhythm of breathing. Follow the flow of breath at the tip of the nose for just a couple more breaths here. Gradually begin to stretch the fingers, curl the toes, stretch the hands, feet, arms and legs. You can stretch the arms back overhead, give a nice stretch to the body by pulling the hands back and away, point the toes away. Just slowly roll to one side for a brief moment. Come back up to a sitting position, slowly. Like I said, today I just want to spend a few minutes to talk about the practice of meditation and how do we want to establish a practice which is something we can, keep ongoing all the time. Okay, but first of all, understand the importance of meditation because, like I mentioned, the definition of yoga itself is the very definition that Patanjali talks about in the Yoga Sutras is Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Most of you know that definition, which means to make the mind very still. All the constant chatter that goes on in the mind, we want to still that chatter. We don't want to be all the time bombarded with that chatter. Well, that's happening all the time anyway. So the ability to stop that chatter so we can keep the mind very calm and still, that's the goal of yoga, because that's what he says, that's the only way we can eventually understand who we really are, which is called self-realization in a sense. We want to understand our true identity. And then for that, he gives us this whole sequence of the 8 limbs of yoga to get there, 8 limbs of yoga. And we'll talk about these 8 limbs of yoga as we go along. But the key, from the practical point of view, the key limbs are the asana practice, which is the physical stretching, pranayama, and then meditation. Normally, that's the sequence most people tend to follow. They first do the asana practice, then pranayama, and then meditation. Okay, which is perfectly fine. But what I want to emphasize is that in terms of importance and priority, it's the other way around. The number one priority is for meditation. Like I said, that's the only practice which eventually will help you calm the mind. So you need to really focus on meditation. And to help you with meditation, pranayama next, because pranayama really helps you to develop that state of mind which is kind of focused and more one-pointed, and then you can go into meditation. And then to prepare you for all that, you need the asana practice. Okay? Because asanas will help you maintain a body which is more, first of all, it has to be free of any ailments and disease. If you're suffering from a disease, you really cannot meditate. So asanas are designed so that your body will remain healthy. And then of course you need a little more flexibility, more strength, and eventually the ability to sit in meditation for a long period of time. That's the whole idea. If the body is not ready and you sit for meditation, in a few minutes, you kind of feel, fidgety, and your tendency is to move the arms, maybe legs, stretch the legs out because you're not able to sit comfortably. Your hips may hurt, your shoulders may hurt, things like that. All these things happen if you're not used to all that. Of course, practice will help eventually. Okay? So you want to build up that ability to sit comfortably for a long period of time for meditation. Okay? But then in an effort to establish your own practice at home, you want to, first of all, pick a spot in your home which is nice and clean, no clutter, no disturbances. Obviously, if you have kids at home, you want to practice meditation at a time when they don't disturb you. Otherwise, kid can come and distract you. Same thing with pets. If you have pets at home, you want to keep them away from your meditation area. Okay. And find a place which is very kind of congenial. It should help you motivate yourself to meditate. Okay. Some people even like, the smell of a fragrance or something, which is fine. Some people don't like it. If you don't mind it, it's probably sometimes very helpful, they say, to have that little fragrance in your area. In India, it's very common. In the north, we call it dhoop. I don't know what you call it in the south. We call it dhoop. It's a small fragrance kind of bit, and you burn the tip, and then it starts giving that beautiful flavor. Okay. Some people like it, some don't. But if you do like it, that's helpful. Okay. And then in terms of the timing for meditation, the most highly recommended time is the morning time. In fact, there is a Sanskrit term which is called Brahma Muhurta. It's a very commonly used term in Sanskrit. Brahma Muhurta is actually, that's a time which starts 96 minutes before sunrise. That's what I read somewhere. Brahma Muhurta starts 96 minutes before sunrise. And that's the best time for meditation, they say. All the atmosphere is clean and pure, and you've had a good night's rest, and somehow there's energy in the whole universe at that time, which is perfectly aligned for your meditation. But then the big problem with that guideline is that it is connected with the sunrise. And guess what? Sun rises at a different time every single day. Every day it's a different time. Right? So you cannot really go with that, because that's not how your work works. You have to go to work at the same time, irrespective of when the sun rises. So you have to modify that guideline to suit your convenience. Still, I would strongly recommend meditation practice in the morning is the most effective. But again, no problem. If you don't have time in the morning, if you cannot find time, any time during the day is fine. The only guideline you want to follow is that your stomach should be empty when you practice yoga. Any yoga practice, whether it's asana, pranayama, or meditation, you should do it all on an empty stomach. And as we all know, stomach is most empty when? Before breakfast, before lunch, before dinner. All right. So those are the 3 ideal times for your yoga practice, and you can distribute your practice. You can do asana at one time, pranayama at another time, meditation at another time, if you want. Or do them all together, depending on how you want to distribute your time. Okay, so that's the kind of the basic guideline for all the kind of the logistics, you can call it, right? When you want to do it, and then how long you want to do it. Again, most common guideline that you will hear from most teachers is about at least 20 minutes, roughly. You develop the ability to sit for 20 minutes and then build up slowly beyond that also. People who do it for half hour, 45 minutes and all that. My own practice is roughly about 35 minutes or so, 30 to 35 minutes. That's what I've been maintaining for a while now. Okay. So I think it's a good time, good frame of mind. Okay. So now coming to the very definition of meditation. Again, we always go back to Patanjali, our guru, whose guidelines we follow in every one of these practices. So he says that meditation, the Sanskrit words he uses are pratyaya ekatanata. The two words he uses to define meditation. Pratyaya ekatanata. The word pratyaya means whatever happens to be in your mind at a given time. Content of the mind you can think of. All right. So if I hear a sound, there's an impression of that sound in my mind. That becomes your content at that moment. Okay? If I'm looking at something, an image of that object that I'm looking at, that becomes your content of the mind. Same thing, any of the five senses. You smell something, you taste something. At that moment, that's the content. Okay? Or you don't have to have any input from the five senses. You can think of something. From your memory, you pull up something from the memory and that becomes your content. All right. Even you can have an emotion in the mind. You could be angry. That becomes your content, that emotion. All right. You could be angry, anxious, you might have some any emotion, right? So that becomes the content of the mind. But all Patanjali says that look, pick a content and then stretch it. Pratyaya ekatanata. Tan means to stretch something. Ek means one. So you stretch it in oneness. That means you want to maintain the same content in the mind for a long period of time. Stretch that same content for a long period of time. That's the very, simplistic definition of meditation that Patanjali gives. Okay. Simplistic, only two words, but guess what? Very hard to implement. The moment we sit for meditation, there's no way you can keep the same content for a long period of time. It's impossible to keep it for even a few seconds, for example, in most cases. Because thoughts will come in immediately the moment you sit and meditate, right? So what kind of content you want in your mind for meditation? Anything. Patanjali says anything is okay. He also talks about Om, specifically talks about Om, but then eventually he says, doesn't matter what you have, anything is good. So one of the more common objects that you want to keep in your mind that has evolved over time is mantra. It's called mantra meditation. And that's the practice that I have been following myself, and that's the one I teach. There are other styles of meditation, obviously. If you're already doing something, following another tradition, stay with that. Don't change anything. I mean, there are Buddhist styles of meditation, there is Zen style of meditation, there are other styles, okay? Even within the Indian community context, there are different objects that you can pick. But mantra has become, I would say, relatively more common. Mantra meditation. So to pick a mantra, and how do you pick a mantra? It should be a word or a short phrase. A word, simple one word or a short phrase. In the Indian context, most people tend to follow some kind of a deity or some god or goddess or something, if you're a Vishnu devotee, you'll pick a mantra related to Vishnu. One common mantra for Vishnu is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I'm sure you have heard that. For people who follow Shiva, Om Namo Shivaya is a very common mantra. If you follow some Devi or a goddess like Saraswati, Om Namo Saraswataye, etc., etc. The different ways you can establish a mantra. If you have no deity, just pick any word. You can just pick Om, for example, that's one option. Or any word in English. You want to keep something. Keep a word like honesty or peace or anything like that. It doesn't matter. All right. Some phrase or a word that you identify with a positive, feeling in your mind, positive vibration. That's it. That becomes your mantra. And then, of course, you need to sit down and recite that mantra. Before we get there, there are three. I want to take a step back here. There are three stages of meditation that Patanjali defines. Three. Okay. The first one is called dharana, then there is dhyana, and then finally samadhi. The first stage, which is called dharana, is the ability to develop to bring the mind to a single point of focus first. So little more of the focus and concentration. That's called dharana. Okay, and then of course you go into dhyana. Dhyana is the one that I have been talking about. That's the definition of dhyana, was that pratyaya ektanata, one pointedness. Okay, that's dhyana. That's where you go into mantra meditation. And just the deepest state of mantra meditation becomes samadhi. That just is a transition. It just happens. Okay, samadhi is where you will stay deeply focused only on that object that you have in mind. Okay, so there are a few techniques of dharana which we practice. We might do one of those in one class sometime. And there are practices like breathing practices themselves can become a dharana practice. There are a few breathing practices which I like, which are more in line with this whole practice of meditation. Okay? And then of course there's another practice which is very common, is the candle gazing practice. That's something that we might do one of these days. Candle gazing, very nice practice for dharana. Many practices are available for dharana. Listening to music is one. There are styles of meditation where, for example, there was a very famous yogi by the name, his family name was Osho, Rajneesh. You might have heard that name. He uses dance as in dharana. You will ask people to come stand and then just dance. Dance in the sense, just move your body. Move your body in any fashion that you want. Slowly, softly, violently, doesn't matter, he says. Just do it. And you will make the people jump around, go around in almost like 10 to 15 minutes. And then he will ask them to go into meditation. Dhyana. That becomes a form of dharana, focusing your mind. Or listening to some music, that becomes beautiful. Singing music itself also is a very beautiful practice. Some people like to sing, all these devotional songs. So you have a deity, then you have a devotional song related to that, and you sing that. And that becomes a form of dharana. Lots of different ways to develop that focus initially, but then finally go into your mantra meditation. Perfect. All right. Anybody have any thoughts or comments on meditation? Anybody want to share their experience of meditation? Please speak up. Any of you who have been meditating on a regular basis? Nobody? Yes, no?
Hi, Subashi. This is Keshini. For me, it's always easier to do meditation in the morning before I start my day, because even if I don't do asana practice, the only way that I can handle my job is to start with meditation. So that's been a priority of mine for about 20 years now.
Oh, beautiful.
So maybe no asana, but always a pranayama and a meditation.
That's so beautiful. That's exactly what I have been recommending, that you should at least, build up your practice to do pranayama and meditation. Beautiful. Yep. Yes, thank you. And anybody else who've been meditating regularly?
Hi, Subhash. Well, so I try to do it too, and I like to meditate in the morning, like she said, like before anybody wakes up, like it's all the silence. I like listening to the silence.
That's beautiful,
Um,
yeah.
And usually I need to try doing the mantra and repeating because I usually just sit in silence and I
Yeah, I mean,
just listen.
like I said, it's one of the Buddhist technique called Vipassana. All they do is just watch the flow of breath. That's it.
Hmm.
That's their style of meditation.
And mostly I just sit quietly and then sometimes I write. I like writing too. So like I sit quiet
Beautiful.
for a while, then I write. But there are days that it's difficult to stay quiet, or the mind starts to race. So maybe on those days the mantra might be
Yes, mantra
a
helps.
better idea.
It's a very common form of meditation, mantra meditation. A lot of people follow that.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that's what we will do. Okay, so let's close the session now. So sit up nice and tall, comfortable. Eyes closed, but the shoulder should be relaxed. Spine should be erect but comfortable. We'll recite Om once now, deep inhalation. We'll join the palms together for the Shanti mantra. Inhale. Om Asatu Ma Sadgamaya Tamasu Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead me from unreal to the real, darkness to light, from the fear of death to the knowledge of immortality. Peace, peace, peace. Palms. Cover the eyes softly with the palms, relaxing the eyes, eye muscles. Release the hands, join the palms again, raise them up. And as you exhale, bend forward. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. I bow down with respect to all my gurus, my teachers. And slowly come back up. Thank you all. Namaste. Have a wonderful rest of the day. See you tomorrow. If you know anybody who wants to join now, it's still okay. Encourage, it's a small group, but like I said, if more people join, it'll be better. If you know anybody who might want to consider joining, encourage them. Sure.
Thank you, Subhashji.
Thank you.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Subhash. Thank you.